Meet Clay Hallickson, one of the test drivers at Ford's Road Testing Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, maybe you think that test driving is full of chills and thrills. Well, the truth of the matter is, the driving Clay does is not so very different from the driving you and I do in our Fords. For this is scientific testing, designed to prove and improve Ford economy under conditions we're likely to meet. This measuring tube, for example, helps to prove that Ford's automatic mileage maker actually enables you to travel farther on every gallon, at every speed, and over every kind of road. But the men who road test the new Ford aren't the only ones who help build Ford economy. Here's Fred Dirchman, one of thousands of Ford's laboratory technicians. Fred works in the dynamometer building, where engines exactly like the V8 or six-cylinder engine in your Ford are constantly checked for economy. Engines like this, for example, are tested at full throttle for as long as 200 hours. And the figures on Fred's fuel consumption chart add up to important gas savings for you. Savings that are checked and rechecked here on Ford's Dearborn test track, where Fords are driven and driven hard right around the clock by experts like Roy Bannister. The tests that Roy makes furnish further proof of a fact every Ford owner knows. Ford is a real economy car. So when your Ford dealer shows you the many money-saving features on the new Ford, he's speaking for thousands of Ford men who have proved that this fine car has economy built in.
Treat those Fords rough, don't they? The kind of testing they get here at Ford's Dearborn Test Track is one good reason why you can be sure your Ford will last. Ford's test drivers make sure, and they're a lot harder to satisfy than you or I. Chances are you'd never ask your car to do this, for example, or this. But just see how easily that Ford rides. Now, the main reason for that smooth ride is a new suspension system Ford calls automatic ride control, a system that has been tested and proved here in the Ford laboratories. And we mean tested. Every 2/3 of a second, those springs get a jolt equal to the roughest bump or rut your car is ever likely to meet. And they go on taking it for days. And there's even more to the story. Ford tests cars like this on the road, too, under the actual conditions you might face. They make certain road shocks aren't going to work havoc on your Ford and shorten its life. This three-way testing, on the road, in the lab, and on the test track, has proved that this '51 Ford is what every wise car buyer really wants and needs. Ford, the car that's built for the years ahead. You can pay more, but you can't buy better. How will your car stand up to the kind of treatment you and your family are going to give it? Well, if you own a '51 Ford, you can be sure it'll take years of punishment like this. Here in the laboratory, the Ford people have proved it. Why, your kids would have to bounce up and down on the seat 1,000,000 times to give Ford's non-sag springs the beating they take in this test. And look at that. This machine slams the door hard every 2 seconds and goes on slamming it for days. Ford ruggedness is proved here on the Dearborn Test Track, too, where Fords are subjected to the hardest kind of punishment. Here's proof of Ford's superb performance. Why, the steepest hill is easy for a Ford, and going downhill can be tough on a car, too. Here you see how Ford's double-seal king-size brakes perform perfectly under the most severe conditions. Watch this. Only a car with durability built in could stand that. hour after hour, day after day. Ford stands that and more. Even the roughest surface is leveled out by Ford's automatic ride control. Of course, the real test of any car comes on the road. And Ford has put test cars like this through millions of miles of controlled road driving, in the mountains and on the desert, over every kind of road and at every speed. The Ford people have proved and improved the lasting quality of Ford cars. Quality that has been engineered and built into every part of your Ford, from its mighty 100 horsepower V8 engine or advanced new 6 to its lustrous baked-on enamel finish. Ford says it, and Ford has proved it. You can pay more, but you can't buy better.